right, so the discussion is going to be, should females be cops? And we're going to look at a video really quickly on this. And my view, I'm going to tell you, it used to be an incredibly black and white view, and the answer was no, women shouldn't be cops. I'm going to give you my justification for that in a second. And it really fucking hit me, right? So I'm sexist to a big degree, you know, and my justification or rationale why women shouldn't be cops was obviously based on my experience working with them, dating female police officers, and seeing them do stuff on the job, right? Then the difference between men and female, male and female biology. And I'm going to tell you flat out, my views have changed. If you'd asked me even a year ago, I would have gone, no, women should not be fucking cops. They just should not be. And the primary reason would have been, well, what is the reason that you say they shouldn't? And it always would have been, whenever I teach a combatives class, martial arts class, or defensive tactics class, and I walk in, you know, even with guys, there has to be a mentality first, right? The mentality is, you know, there's not one motherfucker in this room who should be able to take you down. End of story. Or if I walk into a room too as law enforcement, it's like any one of you I can take into custody by myself, or the entire room, right? It's just a mentality. I'm not saying it's 100% possible. Obviously, if I get in a room with 50 people, I'm probably going to get my ass kicked and all 50 people jump on me. I just want you to know the warrior mindset. So when I used to walk in and do female law enforcement defensive tactics classes, I would go, ladies, how many of you here by yourself could take me into custody? And seeing their eyes be like, well, that's the wrong answer. Your answer off the bat should be 100% no ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm going to play something that kind of backs up my statement on that. Even if physically it's not true, your mentality has to be that. I realize that every single argument I have for everything after that, it's countered easily. It's 100% countered easily. I've worked with a few female cops. One of my closest friends is a former female cop, and I would have gone to war with her any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Amazing human being, fantastic fucking cop all the way around. I'm friends with, you know, social media cops who just do some incredible jobs. I will go to work with them as well too. Officer Autumn Schmidt. She's name her right off the bat. But the female cops I worked with on the street, I had bad experiences with a few of them because of their mentality. And I mean, it was pretty shitty. And I could tell stories about it like crazy. I really don't want to get into that right now. But I realized that every single thing that these women did, men could have done too. There's nothing they couldn't have done, right? We had a female cop when I first started who was 100 pounds of body, 500 pounds of fucking mouth. And she used to go to calls and she would go, it just amazed us. She had more resisting arrest charges than any other cop in the department. And she used to brag about that shit. And nobody put two and two together that it's because her fucking mouth, she would jack people up on the street, right? And we would walk up on her and she'd be like, go ahead, piss me off. I'll have 5 other squads here in a minute. And we'll be like, oh my God, what are you doing? It was just fucking ridiculous. One of the departments that she came from, one of the other cops got sick of her shit, punched her in the mouth because of something she did. That's the kind of bitch she was. And I'm not a fan of her as a human being at all. But we used to see her jack guys up, get them all amped up, and then we'd be arresting like for this kind of shit. And I'm like, okay, that's a female thing. But then I'm like, wait a minute, men can do that too. I've seen insecure cops who are males do that too. So that argument was out the window. Then like social media, when it got big, you know, you got the females out there who they're flashing their pictures in their squad cars with their, you know, their caterpillar eyelashes, this and that, or they're doing their bikini contests. And I'm going, these fucking women shouldn't be cops. Then my own hypocrisy strikes. And I'm like, dude, did you ever take selfies of yourself in your squad car? Yeah, I did. A lot. That's how I got my social media start. Do you ever post shirtless pictures of yourself fit-wise? Yeah, I did. So for the most part, every argument I would have had on the mentality of women being like a mindset that is different than men, over the years I've seen that men have the exact same insecure mindset. And again, that's why this is not a black and white counter argument that it used to be for me, because I've worked with other female cops who are just, they're fucking awesome. They're smart. They're intelligent. They don't start bullshit. They're level-headed. And I've worked with some guys who are like, are you out of your fucking mind? So the answer is not the same as it used to be for me, right? Do I think females should be cops? Yeah. Do I think, like, one of the examples I use as a woman I dated many years ago as a female cop, she was an abhorrent liar in her personal life that had to have translated over into her professional life. Right? She loved going to clubs and abusing that badge and dancing like a slut and this and that, which, yeah, personally was great. But then I'm like, is there integrity with that? And I'm going, wait a minute, why you, dude, do men not lie? Do men not go out and hoard up at the clubs? So any time that I viewed in any of my social media material years ago, where I talked about women shouldn't be cops, dude, that's done. I can no longer support the side of myself that had that mentality because I've seen men do the same fucking thing. And it's worse because it's a higher volume rate, right? So it's going to boil down to one thing, and that is physicality. Physicality. But again, remember, I'm going to negate my own argument. There was a video going around a long time ago of a female cop who got punched in the face on a traffic stop by a guy who didn't want to go back to prison. She was just brutally beaten, and it made my stomach just sick like crazy. And I was like, oh my God, like, how could a female ever be a cop by this? But then you see guys who are put in those same circumstances get the crap beat out of them like crazy. When it comes down to one-on-one, I don't care the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't care all this stuff. No matter how trained you are in today's day and age in law enforcement, the problem is your mentality is not going to be there. It's not going to be there at all. And there's two different Chicago police clips that need to be evaluated at for. And I think what's essential is talking about that when we go forward, when we look at why women shouldn't be cops, and the mentality that cops have been laid on to where they are at today. You know, and that mentality comes from police command. And one of the biggest things I said that I've done over the years is, well, police command is the cancer of law enforcement. These fucking chiefs and these sheriffs can't step up to the plate and actually go after their politicians who either appoint them or the sheriffs are elected in office and actually say, this is the job we're supposed to do. And you public need to either step up to the plate and meet us and learn what we do, or shut the fuck up and sit back down. One of the biggest things that they ever did, which was a fucking pain in the ass, was getting rid of the rear naked choke or any type of neck restraint for law enforcement, sans the shoulder pin, which would have saved so many fucking cases, but we'll get to that later on. I want to point out just two cases. They're both Chicago PD, and this is not critiquing the females at all. This is critiquing the mindset, which men are 100%. Let me start by saying this for a second. Do you know how many bad hires there are out there in law enforcement that are males right now that some of these women out there could kick their asses with? There just are. There's a lot of shit candidates out there. I'm simply going for the musculature, the bone structure, the leverage from the bones themselves, being the length of, the humerus versus a man's humerus. There's a bunch of anatomy things, right? That's all I'm going on. And I want you to see the mentality of what's going on. And then it kind of supports and negates both of my argument why women should be cops. This is a couple years ago. This made me sick to my stomach because what happened is that the police officer's mindset is to baby these criminals on the street. And understand, listen, I critique law enforcement pretty damn hard and I critique public hard, but right now, where we're at in society, it's you got to be a pretty shitty human being to go after the street cops, right? Now, do I think that all cops are good? No, I think there's a lot of real shitty human beings out there. So anytime I give an impulsive reaction, it's totally based in the moment, what I'm watching, and if I was there on scene, and it's like sometimes the shit bag is going to be the suspect for the day. Sometimes the shit bag is going to be the victim, and the cop's going to be the shit bag. So all of these reviews are like my impulsive, like, damn, I wish I was there type stuff, which I can't. But we need to just watch this for a second, and this is a mentality. All right, something to point out here for a second. Look at this. There's a study that says that 73% of resisting arrest charges happen when that first handcuff goes click, right? You only got one handcuff, blah, 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 this and that. I don't know what CPD's training is like. I was in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. We trained well. I trained privately. We got enough material that came up from Chicago and from Milwaukee. So thanks both departments. And, we were humping every day of the week. It was fucking ridiculous. I don't know. And again, I'm very critical and I'll take a lot of shit of this. It's not uncommon to go down to Chicago and see cops sleeping in their car. Again, now you remember something. I'll take a lot of crap for this. I've always said suburban cops are better than big city cops. They just take more pride in their jobs. And again, I'm being critical off of it. Chicago cops, sometimes you see them smoking on duty. Their uniforms look like shit. They're fat and out of fucking shape. You are the worst drivers on the planet. You guys are. You guys will sleep on the job. I'm just critiquing what I see. But my point being is I don't know what you're given for access for training because I do know that the funds you're given by the department is shit. So I know it results in stuff like this. I don't want to attack her training so much as she should be, if she's fighting with this guy and he goes for the throat, she should be going low, cut him in half, dropping elbows. It's not their fault to a degree because they've been brainwashed into shit. We're on camera. We can't make this guy pick his teeth up afterwards for resisting us. Should you have the mentality? No. But you should go from zero to threat until the threat is eliminated. They're not. We need to look at this for a second. Just look at this handcuff. I'm muting this out for a second. Look at she's worried about the arm when he's got the body, right? It's just bad tactics. Can't say that his are any better, right? Because again, I'm not there, whatever. They don't have this guy taken down yet. You can see they're still fighting in the background. All right, goes down. Here's this. If you've seen this video before, whatever the case is, I'm not judging the tactics. I'm judging what spawned out of the mindset. Now, clearly, to defend my argument, well, Izzo, how do you say women shouldn't be cops? Because there was two guys there and there was another person. He couldn't take her down by himself. Yeah, that kind of supports my argument for why if I say women shouldn't be cops, well, I just proved that a guy couldn't even take this guy down. And I'll tell you from firsthand experience, I had to handcuff an unruly 10-year-old once. Holy shit, was that difficult. So again, this kind of supports my argument or negates my argument of, yeah, women shouldn't be cops. Well, we've seen that sometimes it takes 2 or 3 guys to put somebody in custody. We've seen many videos over the last several years of cops using some insane force, which I don't agree with at all. So if I'm going to, this purpose of this is to kind of cancel out my own argument is, hey, should women be cops? No. Well, look at that. You just had a guy and a girl. The guy couldn't even take the guy in the fucking custody, right? So I'm gonna support those who are gonna click on this video and watch this and go, oh, you're full of shit. You know what? What do you mean women shouldn't be cops? I get it. Trust me, I'm on your side for right now. I honestly think this video is one of the best examples for why women should be cops. All right, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this in its entirety here for a second with some audio, and let's see what happens.
Damn, what the fuck?
Get down. Hey,
They tweaking,
I need
man.
another car.
They ass tweaking.
Put your hands on.
They tweaking, man.
I'm in front of the liquor.
Now I'm going to tell you why this woman is a prime example of how cops should be. This is my favorite part here. Boom. She pulls the shit over his fucking head. Dude, this bitch is awesome. This woman, and I say bitch lovingly, this fucking cop is a smart fighter. She's a fucking smart fighter. My only problem is, where's her backup? And the guy filming should have dropped it, but he's getting evidence of resistance. I don't know what the charge was. What if he was just walking down the sidewalk and she had a bad day with her boyfriend or husband and he spits in front of her and she wants to stop him, whatever. I'm not talking about what led up to this. I'm actually talking about the tactics in this mentality. This female cop from Chicago is going against the entire narrative of what command staff wants, right? More than men do, or so I've seen. This woman is doing her job, and let's pretend, because I don't have all the information or the totality of the circumstances, let's say for argument's sakes that the arrest is righteous. Put your hands behind your back because he just shot an old lady, and he's like, no, I'm not going. And she's like, all right, it's game on, motherfucker. She is going from 0 to red until the threat is eliminated, and she's not stopping the fight. Do you know how many out of shape, both men and women, I've seen that look like shit going at it? You know, I saw this video earlier, and my first impulse was, man, women shouldn't be cops. But then the more I watched it, I'm like, who are you kidding? She doesn't stop. This is tenacious. This is law enforcement. This is where cops need to get back to almost, or you're fucking around, you're going to find out. Now, do I like that I have to be put in that mentality? No, because I'm all about due process. I'm all about innocent until proven guilty, but society has gone to shit lately. So, you know, over the last couple of years, I've talked about the fact that, you know, I don't think that women should be cops and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you specifically, that video single-handedly eradicated my former argument of should women be cops, because here you have a cop who is, and it's a 15, 20-second video showing a woman what she is doing, a cop. She has no gender right there. She's not female or male. She's a police officer, and she's just being tenacious. That, to me, is the word that keeps coming back to my head. She is unbelievably tenacious, and we need more of that. So it's just, this is a armchair quarterbacking fractions of police interactions to kind of negate my past argument, which I've had in the past, which is no, women shouldn't be cops. And personally, this one just shut me up and made me feel good for like, no, I think more people with this officer's mindset need to be police officers. I think that what should be done, they need to sit down with this woman, and they need to interview her, talk to her about your mindset. What your thoughts are with the fight? You know, how was and I want to hear the bare bones. I want to hear, were you nervous? Was your adrenaline dumped? Where was your off button? Where were you like, okay, the fight is over? I would love to pick this woman's brain and hear exactly what she has to say, because I'm also interested in the mentality. Because if she says, yeah, man, I love to fucking fight, I'll be like, whoa, dude. Now, we really don't need that on the street. But if she's like, no, I'm doing my job, and blah, blah, and I want to hear the mentality behind it, I want to hear that, and I want to insert that into more training and whatnot. So hopefully that makes sense. That's been my answer over the years. No, women shouldn't be cops. I'll tell you personally, this video single-handedly for this officer's mentality really shut down my own argument, and I think more cops out there need to be just like this female out there. You guys have a great damn day. Stay safe out there.